I bought $1,800 worth of Christmas gifts, all for my sister's kids. On Christmas morning, my son unwrapped a pen. Budget was tight, Dad said. My son asked, was I bad this year? I just packed the SUV with every box I paid for, snapped a photo of the tree, and texted, "Gifts retrieved." By 7 a.m., my sister was banging on my door for 30 minutes, until my name's Leah, and I am the eldest daughter in a family where being responsible became my whole personality. I'm 35, a project coordinator for a hospital supply vendor, the kind of person who pays the rent 3 days early because late fees make my skin itch. I'm also the mother of an 8-year-old, Max, who sleeps with a flashlight under his pillow and calls thunderstorms skydromes. In my family, I'm the ride to the airport at 4:30 a.m., the last-minute editor of resumes, the person who has points when someone wants to book a trip they can't actually afford. I keep lists. I set reminders for my reminders. If a problem lands on the table, I slice it into pieces and put the pieces into labeled plastic bags. My sister Jenna is 32. She has 3 kids under 9. She tells people she's between opportunities, which is a kind way of saying she hasn't kept a job long enough for a W-2 in years. Her husband Kyle is a contractor who is always about to land something big. My parents are the Greek chorus, Dad with the folksy slogans, "Family takes care of family." It all evens out in the wash. And Mom with the soft scold, "Leah, you know kids are expensive. They're doing their best. You don't get it until you're a parent." I always swallow the last one because I am a parent. And the difference is that I don't expect other people to pick up my bill. We do Christmas at my parents' house every year. The same split-level ranch, the same ceramic village on the piano, lit from inside like tiny nightlights. The same plastic tub of tangled lights that no one ever wraps neatly in January. The rules are simple. Adults draw names with a $40 cap. Focus on the kids. I never stay on budget for the kids. I tell myself it's because I love giving. The truth is messy. I am forever chasing a pat on the shoulder that never comes. I've always hoped that generosity could work like a key, opening a door where my parents finally look at me with uncomplicated pride. This year, I decided to go big and be done. I told myself it was a one-time splurge. I made a spreadsheet, tabs for each child, columns for price and deal code, a running total that climbed like a reluctant sun. I stalked sales. I used my employee discount. I bought the tablet for school apps, the Lego Not Star Wars set, the sneakers that light up like a tiny parade, a dollhouse with real working lights that cost more than my first car's insurance, the art set with the good markers that don't streak. I wrapped everything with real ribbon, wrote clear labels and block letters. From Antlia, we pulled into my parents' driveway on Christmas Eve, just after sunset. Frost stitched the edges of the shrubs and the sky was that deep blue that makes the string lights look like they're floating. Dad was in the garage with a beer, wearing his world's okayest grandpa sweatshirt, humming along to a classic rock station. Mum was inside, fussing with a ham the size of a bowling ball. Jenna arrived late with the kids and the smell of vanilla body spray, laughing too loud, calling traffic was insane. We almost died, like it was a punchline. "Leah," Mum sang when she saw the stack of boxes I carried in. "You brought way too much." "Deals," I said, automatic, a script I know by heart. Jenna's eyes skimmed the pile. Her mouth did that stretch that is half smile, half assessment. "Wow," she said. "They're going to lose their minds. We did the rituals, hot chocolate and mismatched mugs. A debate about whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie that Dad refuses to let die. We set out cookies. Max fell asleep on the couch with a tandy cane in his fist, like a flagpole. I carried him to the guest room with the lumpy mattress and tucked him under my grandmother's yellow quilt. Midnight came quiet, the house hunt. I stood by the tree alone. looking at the way the lights flickered in the window glass, like a second tree outside. This is the part one love, the before. The whole day held in a breath. I took a photo from the stairs, the tree, the mountain of boxes, the glow. I told myself, okay, this is why you did it. This is what it's for. Morning arrived the way it always does. Kids thumping down the hall. Dad jingling the antique sleigh bells he keeps in a kitchen drawer. Mom acting like she's surprised by a holiday that happens on the same day each year. Paper flew. Squeals. No way. I asked for this. The air tasted like coffee and sugar. Then Max opened his first present. The box was soft. Socks, I guessed. Inside was a single black click pen, the kind that comes in a 5-pack at the drugstore. He turned it over in his hand like it might have a hidden compartment. Budget was tight. Dad said to the room, cheerful, as if he had solved a puzzle with a catchphrase. Max blinked. Was I bad this year? He asked. He tried to make it a joke, but his voice did a tiny wobble. I felt something inside me pull like a zipper. Not a bang, not a scream. Just a clean, straight line opening. Open the next one, I said too brightly. He opened socks, gray ankle socks, 2 sizes too big. Adults. Someone had grabbed the wrong pack in a rush. Or not a rush. Just not caring. Across the room, Ella shrieked over the tablet. Liam hugged the Lego box like a life raft. Piper lifted the dollhouse ribbon with reverence. Jenna filmed it all, laughing, narrating, best Christmas ever. Her phone never pointed at my kid. I looked at Mom. She adjusted a garland that didn't need adjusting. I looked at Dad. He shrugged like he'd explained a weather event. We had to prioritize, he said, as if he were a spokesman for a budget committee. Max clicked the pen once. Click. The sound was small and relentless. My mouth tasted like cold coffee and metal. Jenna leaned toward me and said softly, like she was doing me a favor, "Don't make this a thing, Leah. It's Christmas." The zipper kept opening. The first time I paid for Jenna's kids' Christmas. Piper was a newborn, and Kyle's work had slowed down. Jenna called me crying in a strip mall parking lot in November. I don't know how we're going to do presents, she said, sniffling. I said the sentence I've regretted 100 times. I've got it this year. 3 hours later, I was in Target with a cart full of toys. Mom texted, "You're a lifesaver. Jenna is so lucky to have you." Lucky, the word felt like a ribbon around my throat. It never went back to normal. It became expectation. After that winter came birthdays and just because toys, back to school shoes, soccer fees, dance recital costumes, the minivan's brakes, the apartment deposit for the kids' stability. When daycare raised prices, I floated them. When Kyle's boss forgot to pay on time, I covered the gap. I was told I had the good head and the steady job, which translated to, you can absorb the hit. I did, and every time I did, the next ask got bigger. My parents applauded me like I was a very competent appliance. Mum would say, "You've always been so organized. We're proud you can help." Dad, family takes care of family. In our house, that meant Leah takes care of everyone else. I got to be the hero as long as I didn't ask for anything back. When I tried to pull back, the scripts came out. "Jenna, it's literally a couple $100. You make that in a day. Do you want them to feel left out?" Mom, don't be so literal. You know how kids are. Why bring money into everything? If I asked for a plan, I got a new emergency. If I asked for boundaries, I got a cold quiet, and then an explosion later about how I was difficult or cold. Love in our family was proven through transactions, and I was the car that always went through. Last spring, I told Jenna I couldn't pay for swim lessons. I said those 3 words like they were a confession. I can't this time. She texted 10 messages in 3 minutes. "It's $300. They'll drown. You're unbelievable." Then Mom called with the voice she reserves for when I'm the problem. "Leah, you know consistency matters. Don't be cruel. I said, they need parents, not a donor program. And she went quiet like I had said a swear. In August, school supply list came out. Jenna posted a photo of 3 shopping carts, overflowing with spiral notebooks and gel pens and glitter glue. Caption, back to school haul. #blessed, #momlife. In the comments, thanks at Leah for the coats. Coats, as if I'd want to scavenge your hunt and not just swipe my card. Max noticed things too. We bought him a used bike off Marketplace. We sanded it on the balcony and painted it orange, his favorite color. He named it Tiger. When Jenna saw it, she laughed and said, "Ah, vintage." Then she turned to her kids and said playfully, "Not everyone gets new everything." It was a joke. It wasn't funny. There were small cuts that collected. A stack of "From Santa" labels on Mum's counter traced in my handwriting. A photo Jenna posted of last year's tree captioned, "We did good," like the pile under it had grown there from their effort. The day Ella told me, "Mum says you buy us stuff because you don't have anyone else," before hugging my waist and asking if I could braid her hair like I used to. By November, the ask stacked like bricks. "Jenna, do you still have a laptop hookup? Ella's school says she needs one." Me, "I can't buy a new MacBook. I can maybe find a refurbished Chromebook." Jenna, "It's for school. Don't be weird." Mum, "I'll send you their wish lists. Do what you can." Dad, "Text me when packages arrive so I can stash them." Kyle, rare cameo. "Yo, grab batteries." I kept the note snap tally that looked like a bill of lading. Tablet, Lego, headphones, dollhouse, sneakers, art set, another art set because the first wasn't the right colors. Meanwhile, Max brought home a permission slip for a $25 field trip fee, and I stared at the calendar until the numbers did a trick in my head and rent made me swallow hard. That night, while Jenna texted links to $120 sneakers and a $260 house for downstairs at Grandma's, I Venmo'd the $25 to Ms. R and told myself I was being dramatic. I promised myself I'd hold the line this Christmas. A week before, I told Mum and Dad, "I'm sticking to budget." Mum said, "We'll see." Dad said, "Don't be dramatic." Then Jenna texted, "We got Max something nice, by the way." I typed, "You didn't have to," and let myself relax for a second. In our family, nice means expensive. I thought maybe we were turning a corner. We weren't. Christmas morning, Max unwrapped a pen and socks. The cousins unwrapped my spreadsheet. Jenna whispered that old line, "Don't make this a thing," as if the thing didn't already exist. Something in me decided to stop being the faucet. I didn't make a speech. I went to the bathroom, locked the door, and braced my hands on the sink. My face looked like I'd walked into a strong wind. I opened photos and stared at the picture I'd taken at midnight. The glowing tree, the mountain of boxes. I opened my notes app, the list of itemized purchases with the totals bolded. I opened my bank app, the authorizations still pending, the balance stacked like Jenga. I splashed water on my face and walked back to the living room. Max was on the carpet, building a skull. A phone was still in her hand like it had grown there. "Cool," I said. I sounded normal. Inside, the zipper had reached the end and the fabric had separated. 2 clean halves. I backed the SUV up to the porch and opened a trunk. I walked back into the living room and picked up the first box with my handwriting on the tag. "What are you doing?" Jenga asked. The laugh had slipped. "Tightening," I said. I carried the box outside. Then another, then 3 more. "Leah, leave it," Mum said, folding a dish towel that didn't need folding. "The kids are playing." "They're not," I said. "Not all of them." Gad stood up with a grunt. "Okay," he said, warning baked into the word. "Don't be petty." I brought in my phone and tapped the photo from last night. I held it up to Jenna's face. "Look at the stack," I said. "Now look at the labels." I swiped to my notes. Tablet, Lego, dollhouse, sneakers, headphones, art set. All me. My kid got a pen. I'm taking back what I paid for. Cal finally looked up from his phone. You can't just take the kids' gifts, he said like he was quoting law. I can take what I bought, I said. If it's truly from you, it stays. If it's from me, it comes with me. Dad tried for calm authority. Budgets were tight. He said for the second time, as if repetition could retrofit ethics, we had to prioritize the family with more kids. The family with more kids has 2 parents, I said, and I didn't raise my voice. I'm done being the third. Jenna's face rearranged itself. Smile gone. Eye sharp. You've always thought you're better than us, she said. No, I said. I've always thought if I gave enough, you'd give back. Max came to the tree with purpose, reading tags. This one says Antlia, he said, lifting a box slightly bigger than his chest. Buddy, can you bring anything that says Antlia to the door? I asked. He nodded, serious, a kid with a mission. He moved carefully around his cousins, asking, Can I see your tag? I'll give it back. The cousins handed him boxes because they're kids, and kids will usually choose fairness if adults don't teach them to do otherwise. Jenna stepped to block him. He doesn't get to decide, neither do you. I said, not about my money, not about my kid. I loaded the last of the boxes and took another picture of the tree. One side bare now, the other side proof of what they had actually purchased. I texted the photo to the family group chat. Gifts retrieved. I didn't do it to punish anyone. I needed proof of what had really happened, so later no one could twist the story. I took Max's hand. We walked to the car. Dad called from the porch. If you leave like this, don't come back. I turned. If you mean it, say it plainly. I said. He didn't. He looked like a man who'd been handed a line that suddenly sounded wrong in his mouth. Max buckled himself into the booster, little hands working the clips. I slid into the driver's seat, heart loud but steady. Before I pulled away, I asked, What do you want for breakfast? He thought about it. Pancakes, he said, with too many chocolate chips. We can do that, I said. I put the car in drive and didn't look in the rearview mirror. We went to the diner on Maple, the one with the cracked red booths and the waitress who calls everyone honey like it's your legal name. Max drew a treasure map on the back of his placemat with his pen. He added a volcano and a crooked palm tree and an X inside a square he labeled home. He licked syrup off his thumb and asked, Can we make our own Christmas at home? He said it like a plan, not a loss. We already are, I said. My phone vibrated until the battery icon turned stubborn red. I'd silenced it, but the screen still lit up like a fire alarm. When I finally turned it over, the group chat was a bonfire. Mom, Leah, bring the gifts back. This is not healthy. Dad, you embarrassed us. Aunt Carol, this isn't how we do things in this family. Jenna, are you kidding me? Ella is crying. Kyle, this is theft. Kyle again, my cousin is a lawyer. He says we could press charges. Mom, we focused on the kids with the most need. You only have one child. Be generous. That last line burned a hole through the screen. You only have one child. As if quantity decides worth. As if my kid's feelings are a rounding error because he is singular. I put the phone face down. I texted Aunt Nadine separately, the one who sends birthday cards with stickers and $10 bills folded inside. Merry Christmas, I wrote. Max and I are eating pancakes. We're okay. She sent back a photo of her cat in a Santa hat and wrote, Proud of you, kiddo. Boundaries are gifts. We went home. I stacked the boxes along the wall in the living room, under our smaller tree, the one that leans a little to the left because of a bent metal foot. Max helped drag the lighter ones. Do these still go to the cousins? He asked. Most of them, I said, but we're going to do it differently. How? We'll rewrap and label them honestly, and we'll set some aside for people who need them and don't have a Leah to subsidize their Christmas. And we'll make sure your name is on yours. He nodded, like this was obvious. Can I give something for me? Absolutely, I said. We opened a few to rewrap. I wrote on fresh tags and big, clear letters from Aunt Leah. On a sticky note, I put on the tablet, half back to savings, half to shelter. I stuck similar notes on the dollhouse and the extra art set. Not because the cousins didn't deserve nice things, because the story needed to be true. Around 3, the pounding started, fists on the door hard enough to make the wreath shiver. Max jumped. I set a hand on his shoulder. "It's okay," I said, and I meant it. Fear and guilt live in the same drawer, and I'd taken that drawer out and dumped it on the lawn. "Leah," Jenna shouted through the door. "Open up." I opened it. She stood on the porch in a puffer thrown over pajamas, hair twisted into something that had once been a bond, columned like a poorly built fence. Mom hovered at the step with a dish towel, weapon, and prop. Dad paced at the curb like a general who gives orders from safe distance. "Where are the gifts?" Jenna demanded. "Inside," I said. "You're ruining Christmas," she said. Her voice had that brittle edge of someone who wants to cry on cue. "You were happy to ruin it for my kid." I said, "You can cry about labels. It's not about who bought what," she said. "It always is," I said. "You just liked it better when I didn't say it out loud." Mom stepped forward with her church voice. "Leah, bring them back. Your cousins are coming over later. We can sort this out as a family. Sorting it out as a family is how we got here." I said, "Here's what happens. Tomorrow your kids will get the gifts I bought, labeled for me. You'll tell them the truth. You won't post photos captioned, 'We did good,' like I wasn't there. And you will not hand my son a pen while holding my tablet again." Jenna's chin lifted. "We got Max something nice," she said. "It's at home." "We forgot it. What is it?" I asked. They blinked at the same time. A duet of silence. Kyle said, "It's a surprise." "For who?" I asked. Mom tried kindness like a key. "Sweetie, don't make them into villains. They're struggling." "I know," I said. "They've been struggling for years, and I've been paying so they could pretend it was temporary." Dad finally entered the chat. "You've always thought money solves everything." "No," I said. "You've always asked me to solve everything with money." Silence settled. Behind me, Max tugged my sleeve. "Can I show them my map?" he whispered. "Later," I whispered back. "We're finishing something." Jenna pointed past me at the stack. "If you don't give them back, I'll tell the kids you stole Christmas." "You already tell them Santa is generous when you are," I said. "I'm done playing that part." She stared like she didn't know me. Maybe she didn't. Maybe I hadn't let her. "You're cruel," she said finally. "No," I said. "I'm clear." I closed the door. She pounded for another minute, then less. Mom's voice pleaded through wood. Calm muttered legal threats to the air. Dad said, "Enough." Footsteps retreated. Quiet returned. Max handed me his map. He had drawn our apartment building with a Christmas tree in the window and 2 stick figures labeled Max and Mom. Next to it, in careful printing, he had written, "X marks the spot." I felt that hot sting behind the eyes that isn't sadness. Relief wears the same shoes sometimes. We made cocoa. We watched the stop-motion reindeer movie. Max fell asleep on my lap, breathing slow. I sat under our leaning tree with the phone on silent, and a room that felt like mine in a way I hadn't let it be in years. The next morning, I wrote 3 emails. One to the shelter, asking for their holiday wish list. One to the school district social worker, asking if any families needed winter coats in Max's sizes. One to my bank, asking for a clean statement of December purchases. Not because anyone demanded proof, because I needed to turn my habit of solving problems into something that wasn't just about keeping my sister's story afloat. At noon, I drove to my parents' house alone. I set 3 bags of gifts on the porch with the new tags. I rang the bell and stepped back. Jenna flung the door open like she'd been waiting behind it. "This is childish," she snapped. "This is honest," I said. She lifted a tag and read aloud, "From Aunt Leah." The words looked wrong in her mouth. like she'd been caught lip-syncing and the track had skipped. Mum appeared behind her, eyes wet. "We just wanted everyone to have a good Christmas." "So did I said. "Next year you can match what you can afford, or you can be honest about what you can't. But you don't get both my money and my silence anymore." I went home. I muted the family chat for 24 hours. Max and I built a cardboard city and drew roads with the pen. He made a sign that said Max plus Mum's City Hall, and I stuck it to the wall with blue painter's tape, like it belonged in a gallery. That night, Aunt Nadine called. "You okay?" "I am," I said, and realized it was true. "Good," she said. "Sometimes the only way to stop being used is to stop being useful to the wrong people." "Put that on a mug," I said. "I'll glitter it onto a throw pillow," she said. Ugly and accurate. The day after, the noise faded. Jenna posted a photo of the kids holding the gifts. The caption read, "Thank you, Aunt Leah. No hashtags, no we, just the nouns and the truth." It didn't fix us. It fixed the sentence. Dad didn't call. Mum sent a single text. "We love you." I put the phone down. Love is a verb. I'm waiting to see which one they pick. That evening, Max and I ate leftovers and played a game we made up with 2 dice and Post-its. He asked if the treasure on his map could move around. "Sure," I said. "As long as we keep the map, I didn't become a different person overnight. I'm still the list maker, the early payer, the helper who holds doors and carries casseroles." I didn't choose cruelty. I chose clarity. I stopped subsidizing a story where my son learned he is less because he is mine. A week after Christmas, Jenna texted, "Can we talk?" We met at a coffee shop halfway between our apartments. She wore sunglasses indoors, like a celebrity hiding from a scandal no one else had heard about. She pushed a latte toward me. "Peace offering." I waited. "I was embarrassed," she said. "At the house. In front of Mom, the kids, Kyle. I was embarrassed for my kid," I said. "In front of everyone." She nodded. "Tiny. We've leaned on you too much." "Yeah," I said. "I'm not promising a brand new life tomorrow," she said. And she sounded like herself for the first time in months. "But we'll stop pretending your money is our effort. I'll tell the kids the truth." "That's a start," I said. She stared at her cup. "Can I ask for one thing that isn't money?" I braced. "Can you send me that spreadsheet?" she asked. "I don't know how to budget." I exhaled. "Yes," I said. "Boundaries aren't walls." Asterisk after listening to today's story, perhaps it has raised some new questions in your mind. Or maybe it has brought back some old memories. Every day on Reddit, new experiences and moments create fresh stories, and they connect all of us. Everyone has their own unique journey in life, and we all try to understand the world in our own way. These kinds of moments remind us that we are all human, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, and always learning something new. If you enjoyed this story, feel free to share it with your friends. Your thoughts and feedback are always valuable to us, as they motivate us to create even better content. Every story has its own unique angle, and our goal is to understand everyone's perspective and make our content diverse and relatable. Stories like these help us realize that life's journey is different for everyone, and by hearing other stories, we learn something new. You can also share your own stories with us. Your experiences are valuable to us as well, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave your feedback. We aim to create content that brightens your mind and gives you new ideas every time. If you've already seen this video before, your feedback is still important. With every piece of feedback, we can improve our content and bring a new perspective to our viewers. Today, what we saw was just a small part of the many stories shared on Reddit and across the world. It's a reminder of how we all try to understand life by sharing our experiences with each other. This video was only an example of how we try to connect with others through storytelling, learning about different sides of life. We hope to continue sharing such stories that help us all learn and grow together. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to keep an eye out for more stories coming soon. If you haven't already, please like and follow for more amazing content. Your support keeps us going, and we will strive to bring you more thought-provoking and heartwarming stories. Until next time, take care and stay curious. Ask to risk.